Hey guys, thanks for stopping by my channel today. Did you like that? What was that like little twitch I had there? Hey guys. Hey guys, thanks for stopping by my channel today. You guys requested kind of what we call on YouTube the Chatty Get Ready With Me. Honestly, I've always been afraid to do this because I fear it's going to be so long. So I'm not going to give you a tremendous intro at all. I'm off today. I don't have to go to work. And so I'm just doing a little bit of makeup. I got some errands to run. I'm super cozy today because there is a tremendous windstorm outside. I haven't done my hair because I'm probably just going to stuff it under a hat because it's that windy outside. The products I'm going to be using today are not my kind of go-to everyday products because I was kind of thinking, and you guys kind of gave me some feedback that you'd like to see kind of my everyday go-to makeup look. And so I wanted to use some different products than I normally use every day. Some of them will be some first impressions, and other products will be coming from my own personal stash and things that I don't normally use. And so we're going to have some good time. So enough of the chit-chat intro. Let's get into the chit-chat get ready with me. The only thing I've done in advance is curl my eyelashes because it kept throwing off my focus and it was annoying the crap out of me. By the way, I use the eyelash curler by Tweezerman. It's the one for big old eyes, and that's kind of, not old eyes, but big eyes. And that's kind of what I have found doesn't like crimp my lashes at the very end. So I'm going to start priming my face with the Nivea for Men Post-Shave Balm, which made my yearly favorites. Definitely check that video out. This is obviously not the original container because it doesn't have a pump and it's so liquidy that it was always getting all over the place, and that was so frustrating. So this is just one of those, I think I got this at the Container Store. It's just a travel container to control the flow of the post-shaving balm that I am using as a primer. This is why I hate doing this on camera. What happened to the color of my skin? My God, I'm like barely touching my skin and it's just turning like splotchy red. That is like facial true confession right there. Okay, so I also like to kind of spot prime. I'm going to be using by Rimmel the Fix and Perfect primer, which is kind of like a pore minimizing, kind of just smoothing primer. I forgot it has color. This has some tint to it. If I remember correctly, this goes away. I hope so, because the tint, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, the tint is kind of peachy. And so, oh, that's not too bad. It does. It blends away. Thank goodness. Anyway, I'm only spot priming where I kind of need to. I don't need to use that primer kind of all over my face, I've decided. This foundation will be new to me. It's by L'Oreal. It's the Infallible Total Cover. I was having a hard time finding it in store, and I was able to finally get it off of Amazon. I tested the shade. I don't know if it's completely going to be my color, but we're not seeing anybody important today, so if it's not my right shade, then that's okay. Right off the bat, it reminds me of the Maybelline Dream Matte Velvet Hydrating Foundation, because it's very moussey in texture. Well, it's taken away the redness, so that's good. I'm going to Target today. Doesn't everybody go to Target on their day off? I'm getting some grocery staples, bananas namely. It's always weird to me that Target charges by the individual banana, and then like some other places charge by the weight of the banana, and then like Costco, when you buy bananas from them, they charge by just the package. So I don't understand this banana pricing, but it saves me a stop from having to go to the grocery store. I love bananas. I'm like a monkey or a gorilla. You could call me a gorilla because I love gorillas. You could take me to the zoo and like leave me in the gorilla well, not in the enclosure, but you could leave me with the gorilla display and you could go see all the other animals at the zoo. And I will stay with the gorillas. They're just so fascinating because they're kind of like people, but they're not, which is what totally is like blows my mind. I just can't take it. So this foundation actually did a pretty nice job of kind of, did you see how like red and pink my face was? In real life, it's not picking up as light as I think it's picking up on camera. I think the shade itself will be okay. It blends really nicely. like I said, it's kind of moussey in texture. And I had some kind of angry spots and stuff, and it looks like it covered it really, really well. So I'm going to be eager to continue using this just to kind of see how it holds up during the day. But all in all, wow. I look pretty evened out, I suppose. So I'm just going to be concealing a couple of not so friendly little spots on my face with the Bare Minerals Original Foundation. Actually, this is the matte foundation. I find that this is the best way to conceal any kind of spots or anything that I need to cover up. It just winds up dealing with unfriendly skin and holds on pretty nicely. And so I'm a dabber with this as far as concealing. So speaking of Target, the other thing I got to go to Target for is I need to do some returns. I'm like one of those, like, I'm a bad returner. I always have my receipt, and I always do what's, appropriate for the store. As far as, making sure I'm not trying to get away with anything, like I said, I always have my receipt and whatever. But I feel like I might get blacklisted at some point. They're going to get, angry at me for doing so many returns. But I can't decide in the store. I don't know what I don't trust your mirrors. I don't trust your lighting. I don't nothing. I'm just moisturizing my lips right now with the Smith's Rosebud Salve Balm. Smells like roses. Pretty. My lips are like revolting against me right now, like with liquid lipsticks and cold weather and just kind of all of that. Plus the foundation like took away any shade of color that it might have wanted to have. So I realized I needed to fix that. So, anyway, yeah, I need to do some returns today, and I've been having trouble at Target. Like, even though I use my Target card, like, it's not showing up sometimes as something that I bought, and they're like, no, you didn't buy this here. I'm like, do not beg to differ with me, lady, because I know where I buy my stuff, because I am, like I said, a habitual returner, so I need to make sure that I'm doing it appropriately for fear of getting in trouble that I actually would do something like that. This, by the way, is the LA Girl Pro Conceal Concealer. I'm not quite sure how good this shade matches me, but it kind of went well with the shade of the foundation, which I'm not sure was yellow enough for my skin, but it's a little bit pink. The foundation was a little bit pink, and so is this under eye concealer. I've heard really good things about this concealer. I haven't really used it because of the shade issue, but like I said, I'm not doing anything important today, so if somebody wants to judge the color of my under eye concealer while I'm running around Target in sweatpants and cozy clothes, I'm okay with that. I'm not concerned about that. So it doesn't find it sometimes, and you have to like go online and look up for example, if it was like an order that you purchased online, you have to look it up to prove to them that you bought it in their store with their card. Now, I love Target, but this is getting a little bit frustrating. Maybe they're trying to make me not do any returns or something. I don't know. I probably shouldn't take it personally, but Target's so wonderful. So when I wind up having trouble with them, it's always very surprising. That concealed really nicely, and I don't think it's clashing too much. I promise you what's showing up right now, potentially on camera, is not as bad as it's looking in person. So I'm hoping as I start warming it up as we go, that blank canvas starts to improve itself. It's like my eyes like disappear. It's so hilarious. So I'm going to go in now with the Coty Airspun Loose Face Powder, which I've seen like people talk about, and they're like, oh, it's so retro, it's so cool. First of all, the packaging is like crap. I've never used this before. It just, like, when you are trying to thread something on and off and you find that it's like just crunchy? Yeah, that's not working for me. Oh my gosh, there's a poof in here. I forgot about that because I opened the tape before. Hi, Grandma. That totally smells like Grandma. Grandmas around the world are smelling like this powder. Oh my gosh. How retro. I hope the smell kind of goes away over time because this is like a pretty intense kind of smell. Okay, so I'm going to set my whole face with it. It's pretty finely milled. I heard you could do it for underneath your eyes, and then I'm just going to kind of use it to just kind of set my whole face. Anyway, I want to end Target like on a positive note. Target is fabulous. Get their credit card. If you get their credit card, you get 5% off every single order, and then also you get free shipping no matter how tiny your item is. I kid you not, I ordered a package of cotton balls, free shipping, which they had to lose money on. And if I wasn't so annoyed with my recent return experiences, I might have actually felt guilty about that, but I decided to do it anyway. So you can definitely, you can order anything, no minimum, and you can have it shipped to you for free if you purchase it on your Target card. And so I was pretty excited about that. Okay, enough about Target. But that's where I'm going on my day off today. Okay, the smell is kind of getting a little bit better, I think. I hope. This is, I mean, it's kind of comforting as a smell. It's really, really thin. I could reach and get a bigger brush, I suppose, but I'm a little bit tired. I'm a little bit lazy. And I do not feel like being responsible today. I think this is the translucent though, so that's kind of nice. Okay, that kind of worked out. And it was nice to get a spontaneous visit from Grandma's house in the midst of putting on my makeup today. Oh my God, that is so hilarious. Okay, let me just double check. Where am I? I've got primer, foundation, under eye concealer. I concealed my I prepped my lids and primed my lips with that under eye concealer as well. I went after spots and now I've set my face. Okay, so now let's move on to eyes. And so I'm sure you guys have seen these by Too Faced. It's the chocolate chip palette and then the white chocolate chip palette. The chocolate chip palette you can only get from Sephora. I prefer, I'm sorry, not from Sephora. You can only get from Too Faced right now. It's limited edition. I prefer the shades in this one. The white chocolate chip you can get from Sephora and a couple other locations. It's a very pale, muted sort of a shadow compact. But I love Too Faced and I decided I wanted to give it a try. And we're gonna, I haven't really seen a lot of reviews on it, so it didn't really quite take off from my experience anyway, but I was like, I've got the big ones. It's limited edition. You know my history with limited edition. And so I just kind of grabbed it. Oh, and it's got really nice, it does have really nice pigment. So that's good. So something else I've been doing recently is literally trying to figure out what to do with my hair. You obviously have noticed and complimented, so thank you, that I cut it. I might actually still go a little bit shorter. I feel so brave because, like I said in my comments and replies back to you guys, I've never had hair this short. And it's just, I don't know, it's just different. But the other issue that I'm having is what I'm going to do with the color, because I had gone with a lot of light highlights and I like that. And I know it's the middle of winter, so it's not as important. But when I moved back to New York, I didn't have a colorist. And I was just upset about having to try to find one. And so I've kind of been growing it out. And you can see that the grow out now is becoming a little bit more obvious. And so I need to make a decision. What's also becoming more obvious is all of the grays, apparently, that I have not had to pay attention to as I was lightening it and kind of highlighting it. And so, yeah, they're there. I'm so excited about that. And so I don't know if I want to just go all over kind of warm and brown. Like my normal color is dark. Clearly it's a very dark brown. I have all these little fuzzies up here too. Oh my gosh, I'm a mess today. Okay, so it's kind of just a normal kind of kind of a dark brown. I don't know if I just kind of want to go with like a warmer brown and just do that all over, and then maybe do something different come the spring, or maybe I should just suck it up and go back to highlights. I don't know. What do you guys think? Does anybody have a comment or an opinion? I kind of like both. I mean, I like highlights and I like the lighter look, but then it was more maintenance. And so I don't know. What do you guys think I should do? Somebody tell me what to do, because sometimes you just don't feel like having to make the decision, right? You're just like, could you just micromanage my life? Could you just tell me what to do? When I sat down to film this, I was like, I'm just going to do like a nice natural sort of look. And then I started looking at the colors in this compact, and they're so pretty. There's this gorgeous kind of hunter green. So I'm going to add that to the outer corner of my eye. I really enjoy the pigment in this particular palette, actually. And I was thinking, because it was limited edition, you know how sometimes limited edition stuff kind of isn't the same quality as their normal releases, which I don't really actually understand. Wouldn't you always want to put out a good quality product? But that being said, I kind of find that these are pretty comparable to their original chocolate bar palettes. And so I don't feel like they took any shortcuts. And so I kind of appreciate that. I did play with the white chocolate chip one a little bit. And because the colors are so pale, originally, like in the pan, it wasn't really impressing me all that much. But this one that, like I said, you can only get from Too Faced, really is impressing me. I think it's doing a really nice job. Okay, I'm like ready to go out on the town, and I'm really just kind of running to Target. Okay, so new to me, and I don't know if they're new in general, but I happened to find it at Target, and I know that they were not there. Oh, see, I found it at Target. And I know that they were not there before. It's this Aqua Luminous line that they have, and I really think it's been out a little while, but they have these kind of like liquid shadows, and this is the one that's in Rose Gold. And so it's got a doe foot applicator, looks like a concealer, but I thought the Rose Gold was really pretty. And so woo, that's some flashy. There's some flashiness. That's all right. We'll blend you. I'm not really, I guess I'll apply it and then just kind of make sure it's blended in. And kind of now as I'm tapping it, it's kind of taking away the intensity of or maybe it's just taking away the shadow. I'm not quite sure, but it's not obnoxious. It's a pretty, not too intense kind of rose gold color. I think I'm going to blend around it. We'll go back to that eyeball. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to have this on, and I'm going to blend the powder shadow around it, because I feel like it's coming off as I touch it. So that's good, I suppose, if you're interested in making it not quite as, like I said, just not quite as intense. So we're going to let that dry for a minute. I'm going to go back to the chocolate chip palette. I'm going to go with that green color. I'm going to stick with that really pretty green color that I put on the outer corner. And I'm going to line my lower lashes with that. Now I have green eyes, and so, but that doesn't mean you can have any other color eye and couldn't actually use the green. But that's kind of why I was partial to it, because it's kind of bringing out the color of my eye. So that's kind of nice. So I'm just going to take my crease brush now, which still has some residual shadow on it. I'm just going to go through my crease just to kind of blend in the borders of that kind of liquid shadow. That was nice. It's not as intense as you would think a liquid shadow would be in that form, but maybe that's not a bad thing. Maybe because you don't really want to overdo it so much. I'm going to go back into that chocolate chip still, and I'm going to take an angled brow brush. And I'm going to take the darkest brown that's in here and just kind of line my upper lash line just a little bit. Kind of fill in the gaps between my lashes. I said in the beginning of the video that I've got really big eyes, and I do, which means that you can kind of notice imperfections a little bit more, specifically gapping between my lashes. I don't wear false lashes. I can't be bothered, one, with that additional step, but also I do have really nice lashes, the ones that I have, and they're pretty full. They're full enough. And I just don't want to mess with them. It's like you don't want to overpluck your eyebrows and like ruin them. I don't want to false lash myself and ruin the very nice lashes that I have. I found a couple other kind of palettes from e.l.f. Sorry, that's a lot of glare. One of them is the Total Face palette, which that's exactly what it is. It's got bronzer, 2 blushes, and a highlighter. And then I also found this Aqua Luminous blush and bronzer duo. So I'm going to take this bronzer shade here, and I'm going to contour with that, because it's a pretty neutral kind of brown that I think would just work fine as a contour. So it's not overly pigmented. I went in really light because I was afraid it was going to give me a stripe. Hey, hello cheekbones. That's nice. This palette was really cheap. It was like $6, maybe $8. That's a nice contour. Okay, that works. And the blushes are pretty. One's kind of pinky, one's kind of peachy. That's nice. And so now I've got this Aqua Luminous. I'm going to check out the... Oh, no. No, no, no. Oh, my gosh. Look at that blush. That blush. I don't even if it were subtle, I'm not even going to try. I just can't. I don't even, like, live for blush to begin with. No, no. Oh, no. It's another return. Eee. But I didn't use it. And I know you can bring stuff back, you know, even though you use it. But that's like a there's even like a seal on it. I didn't touch it. Back to the total face palette. I'm going to go in kind of with this peachy sort of blush. This looks really pretty. Give myself a little color. Oh, I'm not bronzed. Wait a minute. That totally threw me. I was going to bronze with that. So I'm going to go back in with the same bronzer that I contoured with. So that's kind of my own little tip. If you go in with more color with your smaller contour brush, you can still use the same bronzer, just with less, and it will actually look like it's kind of two different color bronzers. Isn't that fancy? I found that out totally by accident. That was not a plan. Wish I could use this bronzer to kind of like make those grays be less obnoxious than they are. I have to do something. I haven't. That was a whole other department of my life that I was trying not to have to deal with. But I think it's time. I think I'm being mandated to do something with my hair. I've also got to find new doctors. Moving is hard. I've been in my house now since June, and this is January, and I still feel like, even though I'm completely unpacked, you knew what an ordeal that was, but even though I'm completely unpacked, I feel like, I just feel like we're still getting things set up, and like I said, doctors, and, you know, where your favorite go-to restaurants are, you know, that sort of thing. I did find the most amazing Turkish restaurant the other day, my husband and I. And I know for a fact that it's Turkish. Now, the name of the restaurant was Mediterranean, and the sign was blue and white. So my husband and I, we assumed it was Greek. And so the food was phenomenal. Oh my gosh, so good. We got this like grilled plate of all of their like chicken and grilled lamb and all this authentic Turkish, now I know, food. And so, you know, we're trying to be really, really friendly. And the waitress comes over and she's like, I said to her, I'm like, this is hands down the best Greek food we've ever had. And she goes, yes, that's because it's Turkish. I'm like, okay, sorry. It's still good, but now I feel like an ass because I didn't know it was Turkish. I didn't know there was a difference. And so we kind of interviewed her. By the way, I'm going in with a highlighter, another one by e.l.f. This is called the Baked Highlighter, and this is in shade Moonlight Pearls. I'm also using, where is it? A brand new stippling brush from e.l.f. Here it is. This is it's a stipple brush, but it's not the same. They've got another stipple brush that's a long black handle, and this one is shorter, apparently, with silver, so it looks like it's a little bit different. I know you're supposed to stipple with it. I'm just using it. Anyway, the Turkish food, she said there were subtle differences. Like they cook the same foods, but they just use slightly different ingredients and like slightly different spices. But like they still had gyros and falafel and hummus and tzatziki sauce, and although they didn't call it tzatziki sauce on the menu, they called it yogurt sauce. I wonder if tzatziki is exclusive to the Greeks. Does anybody know that? I'm not Greek, but I love your food, by the way. Apparently, I also love Turkish food, so that's pretty fabulous right there. Anyway. Oh my God. My nose. I'm wiping away all of the foundation. Okay, we're almost done. Brows, lashes, and lips. So I'm going to go in by Maybelline. This is like this duo-ended brow. It's called Define and Fill Duo. I'm not sure what. It's got a pencil on one side and then like almost like a shadow squid. Oh, you got to. I'm ready to rip it off. You have to turn it off. This like shadow sponge or something. I'm not even sure how to use this. All right, so let's just see what happens. Um, I don't understand. How is powder coming out? I guess it kind of is. Is it coming out? Oh yeah, look at that. It's coming out. There's like a stripe. I don't... Do you have to like... Whoa! The thing goes... Doop, doop. I wonder, do you have to... Is that how you get more? I don't understand this. Does anybody know how this works? How does more... Like, I'm not dipping the spongy in anywhere. How does more product come out? But this actually is pretty fancy. I might need the middle shade, like the medium brown. But... Oh, I could... There's like a spring in there. I don't understand. I have no idea. Hi, thanks for tuning into my channel today so that I can educate you about what I actually do not know. That is fabulous. Okay, so the pencil now will kind of fill in the rest. I have slightly unruly brows, but I'm afraid to kind of go after them too much because I just don't want to overdo it. I want to make sure that I keep enough brow, but I feel like I might have too much. Our brows really are kind of the bane of our existence. We could get out the door so much faster if not for the darn brows. Lashes. I'm going to try by number 7. Okay, which I got from Target. That was not a plan, but it's calling itself the Extreme Length Mascara. You know I love the L'Oreal Telescopic mascara for lengthening, so I want to see if this one does as good a job, and I'm happy it's a drugstore one because I know that I can get one by Lancome. That's a tremendous lengthener, but you know, it's expensive, and I already used some other pretty high-end mascaras, and since this is step 1, it's actually not that bad. It's lengthening pretty nicely. So let me just say, it definitively does not give you any volume. This is definitely a lengthener. I'm going to try, because the brush is pretty friendly enough, I'm going to try to do my lower lashes just because I'm too lazy to go find my MAC Giga Black mascara. So I'm going to let that upper dry for a minute, and I'm going to go in with an oldie but goodie, which I haven't used in the longest time, which I had been using, also by L'Oreal, the Voluminous Carbon Black Mascara. This will be my step 2. I'm not quite sure how much I live for it anymore because I've definitely got some major winners in comparison, but we're just going to have to see. So I've been watching on TV. I'm not a big TV show person, but I've been watching a lot of the tiny house shows, like Tiny House Hunters and Tiny House Nation, which is actually really cool. The 2 guys that are on that show, I think it's John and Zach. They're really hilarious. They work really well together. They've got good chemistry as co-hosts. Anyway, and so, you know, I like the idea of a tiny house, which I say ironically as I'm surrounded by tons of makeup, which I'm okay with. I don't think I could actually do like a tiny house, but I like the idea of not having stuff I don't like. You know, like, you know what clothes you reach for all the time. And when it's crowded by other clothes, which you know you're not really that comfortable in, or you know they don't like make you look that good, but you hold on to them anyway, that really bothers me. I like to see the stuff I like, you know? And so I've been going through stuff, and I have gotten rid of, I don't know, garbage bags full of everything. I've thrown out socks I don't wear, and, you know, underwear and bras that I just don't wear. You know, bras that are so uncomfortable. Oh my gosh, why do we hold on to them? You know why? Because they're expensive. And you feel like you don't want to throw something out that you spent a lot of money on. But when they're uncomfortable and you're not wearing them and you're just storing them in your drawer, so those sorts of things, worn things I got rid of. Other clothes that I just don't wear, we've donated to the clothing drops. Some of them were brand new, which I must have just bought on sale. So I got a really good deal on it. But just because something's on sale doesn't mean you should buy it. And so it's been very liberating. I feel like I'm doing good with the stuff I'm throwing out. I feel like I'm getting rid of the stuff that's crap. And I'm kind of like looking at like my whole life that way. And it's been very like, there's a lot of freedom that comes with it, and you feel like you're literally getting rid of stuff. And so I'll probably talk more about that as I go along, but that's kind of been my thing right now, is going through stuff, you know, similar to that book that's out, whether it gives you a spark of joy or not. I mean, I'm holding on to some stuff that's not necessarily a spark. It might just be like a flame flicker, because I've got the space for it and I just don't want to get rid of some things yet. But there's definitely many things that I've been holding on to, which is ironic because, by the way, I'm using by Revlon the HD like gel lip color. This is the color in Desert, which is just kind of a really pretty pink. Totally don't remember what I was saying, except for the fact that I've been getting rid of a bunch of crap and I've really, really been enjoying it. I love these lip colors, by the way. Do you see how I can put do you see how I can put them on without any lip liner? I like the way they smell. Some people might not like it, but they're moisturizing and they're making my lips feel good, and I can drink coffee with abandon and not worry about kind of losing my color or having a funny looking lip face. Anyway, that's it. Oh, I need to spray. I'm going to be using by L'Oreal the Infallible Pro Matte Setting Spray. It's a little bit of a drippy sort of spray. You know, sometimes it splooges at me, but I have not been convinced to spend more money on the more expensive. I've tried the smaller sample sizes of them, the little travel sizes, and I am not compelled in any way to spend money on makeup setting sprays. I find that they're not as effective as we want them to be. Okay, here I am. I am ready to go shopping and enjoy my day off. Thank you for spending this time with me. If you enjoyed this video and my rambling, then please give this video a thumbs up. And if you want to see that video with my go-to makeup look, then definitely thumbs it up and give me a comment down below. Please subscribe if you haven't already. You're totally supporting my channel, which I'm working really hard on. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. Check me out over there if you have a minute. I hope you have a really good rest of the day. I need to go shopping. Thanks again for the video suggestion. I look forward to seeing you next time. In the meantime, thanks.